Hypergiver 2 wonders for $2. Chris, did you see Evil Dead Rise?
Yes, I did.
And
I
How
loved
was
it.
it?
I
oh
loved it.
wow,
I
cool.
loved it. Um, you got to be forewarned going in. This isn't an Evil Dead movie starring Bruce Campbell as Ash.
Right.
It's a very different reboot. What I was shocked by is one, the level of gore in this is just over the top. Two, no one is safe. It's a story of a family, and wow, it's this the mother is turned and possessed, and who's left? The children. This movie is shocking. It's really for hardcore horror fans. It's kind of a soft reboot of the series, in a sense, or you could argue it's a hard reboot. And it was originally intended to be a direct to HBO Max, but it scored off the charts. And Zaslav decided, let's release it, and so he did. And smart decision, really smart.
So,
Yeah.
not Pip Boy Gamer says so. It's like the 2013 one, which was a bit more.
This is way better than that, much better.
Okay.
And I
But
strongly recommend.
is there any connection between them? Because the 2013 one, that was a remake. Is this movie is
No,
this
it's not.
connected to the
No,
2013 one, or is it yet another remake?
no, it's not. It's different. Let's just say
I've heard
that.
it has connections to the original film.
There are a lot of little, you could say, Easter eggs. This is not a spoiler, an Easter egg. There's an old timey record that is played in the
Yeah.
movie, and it's Bruce Campbell's voice. You may not even recognize it. So
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe it didn't make it into the movie, but I remember reading early on that like the mom character or something like that, isn't she supposed to be like a sister of one of the characters from the first film? Or do they not cover that in the film? Is that excised?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I might have missed that. I went to the bathroom once.
I was gonna say they may have just removed it altogether, but I remember in early when they were talking about what the movie was about, was that they had said the one character, the possessed character, does have connection to the original film, like it's a sister of one of the characters. I thought, but
Right. Okay. Well, yeah.
yeah, I could be wrong, or
Yeah,
they
no,
changed it.
yes. That is. It's. But what I mean is that when I say reboot, it's like a new chapter in the story. The chapter
It's a
with
reboot,
Ash.
cool.
Yeah. So that's a chapter. Now this is like a new, like, because I could see this continuing in this vein. But if people recall, if people remember correctly, the original Evil Dead was not a comedy. It was dark, serious, possession horror film. And the second movie got over the top, ridiculous, comedic with Bruce Campbell. The second, Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn, which is my personal favorite, right? But this movie is, again, it's like serious. I could see them making a second Evil Dead Rise film, Evil Dead Rise 2, some other thing, Dead by Dusk, whatever. And then it just having a different tone. The tone of this is very much dark horror. I saw it with a packed crowd who loved it, but it's like, if you go in thinking it's an Ash Evil Dead movie, it isn't. It is not.
Justin B saw Evil Dead, and it's taken the approach Marvel wants to with pushing a message. Oh, so you're the first person I've heard to say something negative about the film by hiding it. Trans, climate change, deadbeat men, etc.
I saw it too yesterday.
Did you see this?
Kind of. There is some very subtle messaging going on there, but it's hidden, like he says. It's subtle. However, this is also like a case, I think, where if you look for it, you might see some messages that aren't necessarily there, because it's very difficult to say if this is a movie that, like the movie as it is, in principle, it could have come out exactly as it was anyway, 10, 15 years ago, and no one would have batted an eye, because then it would have been a movie that celebrates like sisterhood and motherhood and stuff like that. There is one, and actually there's two absent fathers in the movie. We don't know the details of why they are absent. We aren't presented with this, but by all accounts, there's two absent fathers. However, there are neighbors, and those neighbors, they try. They stand up, they try to protect and everything. Doesn't work out well. There's no overt trans character, but there is an activist. There is one with definite Antifa sympathies and stuff like that in the movie. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but let's just say that that this person, who very well may be they them, does transition into a deadite over the course of the story. So it's not like it ended very well for.
So there is a transition. I'm just kidding.
Into a deadite. But so yeah, so this is kind of like a movie where I would have to see it again and pay much closer attention, because again, this is the kind of like thing where, as you've spoken about, Paul, where you can have kind of like a woke mirage. There is something that you can read into it there, absolutely. But also, this movie is a case where you could be seeing something that isn't meant to be there.
Yeah, we're
And
kind of at that point.
Probably it's a little bit of both. But
Or
on the good side, if there is a message, you have to look for it. I certainly have to see it again to really find it, because
I'm not going to be too quick to dismiss, though, Justin, because, like, yeah, like, I was one of those few people that seemed to see a lot of the underlying shit and everything everywhere all at once that nobody else did, or at least we're happy to ignore. And I'm like, the movie is literally about a lesbian who destroys all existence because she thinks her mom can't accept her. That is the plot of the film. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to say you're wrong, Justin. I got to see it myself, though.
beyond that, I will say that it's not a bad film. I had fun with it. As we spoke about before, Tom, I think that I probably will have enjoyed it more than you do, because you have more attachment to that franchise than I do. So I thought it was incredibly intense. I was surprised by how intense it was. Much more than I would have expected.
See, and that to me, I don't mind the intensity, but you got to have some of that tension breaker with an Evil Dead movie. That's what makes it Evil Dead.
Evil Dead has the humor also.
Exactly, it's that tongue-in-cheek.
Very little of that. I mean,
Wow.
there's some tongue-in-cheek, some little bit here and there, and there is also some very nice references, but it's all like meta references.
So basically, unless you're a die-hard fan, you're not going to get it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and I think that because it leans back to the very first film, I think that a lot of people are going to get turned off by it.
Mhm.